But we'll lead off with today's third-place finisher and the six-time NTT INDYCAR Series champion and 2008 Indianapolis 500 champion, Scott Dixon, who led 12 of the 200 laps in the number 9 PNC Bank. Chip Ganassi Racing Honda, his best finish in the 500 since the second back in 2020, 139 podiums in the NTT INDYCAR Series and counting, still second all-time behind the great Mario Andretti in his 164. So much to kind of digest, Scott, and I'm sure you're trying to replay a lot of this in your mind. Just your thoughts on a third-place finish here today.
Yeah, kind of honestly all we had. You know, when I made that restart from first position and before the start finish, there was 2 of them, but past me already. I knew it was going to be pretty tough. So kudos to them for having the pace. Big thanks to everybody on the PNC Bank number 9. We had some weird kind of restarts there in the middle, kind of got to the back, and then kind of went off sequence, but then had some great restarts at the end to kind of jump us back up to the lead portion of that group, which I think was Pato and myself. So yeah, the last shot there was just we were pretty much flat, man. Just staying in their toe and their wake, and honestly, you kind of knew that. I think we could run kind of 218s out front. They were like 220s, and once they started cycling, they were 222s, and we were just trying to hang on there. So they had much better pace than us today, and unfortunately, we just didn't have enough there at the end.
Not that you're thinking championship quite yet, but Scott is now just 20 points behind his teammate Alex Palou after 5 rounds in the 2024 NTT INDYCAR Series Championship. We've got Madeline on this side, Kieran on that side. If you got a question, raise your hand, and we'll work the room accordingly. Let's go ahead and begin here. Ben Johnston.
Hey, Scott, congratulations on today's result. Have you ever experienced anything like what happened today at the Speedway?
In what way?
In terms of, like, the drama.
The drama? Was there drama?
All right.
I don't know.
It was a long day, that's for sure.
Yeah, it was a long day, that's for sure. I took a nap, That was actually really nice. Yeah, late start to the day. I think it sometimes, can kind of suck the energy out of you, but as soon as I, snapped out of my nap and looked outside and saw all the people in the stands, man, I was like, holy cow, this is awesome. So, it's great to see just the enthusiasm, I think, from this crowd and what they have here at, the Speedway. The race itself, was pretty full on, pretty action packed. At the end there, when you're kind of capturing third, you hope that the first 2 are going to take each other out, but obviously that didn't happen. So, yeah, a little bit of drama, but I thought everybody raced pretty cleanly, and at the end there, it was a great move by Joseph on the outside, just had the momentum, and pretty interesting that it actually stuck, especially after a kind of a stint, and that second lane, can kind of get pretty slippery there, but he pulled it off, man.
Excellent. And in terms of like the issues you had with Honda and qualifying and stuff, how rewarding was it for you to come back with this result?
Yeah, it's nice. I think the biggest thing is when you get out of the car, you're happy with what you did today. I think we gave it all, man, and I think that's myself and the team. We were trying. They were definitely trying to pump me up at the end, and I was just telling them I'm going flat out here. I've got nothing left. I'm trying. So yeah, I think in that way, I think the only bummer you can have is when you leave the track and you didn't give everything you had. So I know we left as a table nothing. As a group, sorry, we left nothing on the table.
Maybe a little deeper dive on that pass that Joe New had around on the outside. Were you thinking that, wondering like the rest of us whether that was going to stick or not?
Well, I've seen finishes that can go pretty sideways in situations like that, and you could be in the in the right position. The Sato and Dario. There's loads of different kind of races that are finished that way, but he did a great job. Pato gave him some room. Rest is history.
Yeah. Go ahead. Sorry. Second.
No, you talked about the delay, but this track well. This is probably as late as anybody's ridden on this track. Was there anything different? The lights, where the shadows were, just maybe even the temperature, just getting this deep into the day and still be racing?
Yeah, it was actually pretty good. I think the only time was when there was sun breaking through in 4, and then just as you were kind of getting to apex, there was pretty bright light through there as it was kind of breaking through the stands, which you'd just get a pretty crazy flicker going in there. But Yeah, conditions were good. I think there was no issues out there, and great job by the Speedway, and obviously timing wise, just with how you get it with the rain, Mother Nature, you can't do much about that. But that was cool, to get this race in today.
We'll go Jenna and then Jack. Go ahead, Jenna.
Hey, Jennifer, AP. You just said that Pato gave Joseph some room. In 2022, he was accused of not being aggressive enough. In 2023, he was too aggressive. Today, he appeared to have been crying after the race and very upset. Is there something he could have done differently on those final two corners?
It's just timing. Timing's a little bit off, I think the other year where he had the outside move, I think on Ericsson in one, I think he could have held that there. But it's always, it's a balance. You don't really know if it's going to take it. Especially when you have a stint or two where the marbles can build up. All it takes is getting offline and you go straight into the fence, and we've seen that plenty of times too. But those cars were fast. Like they were in a different category to me. So I don't know if there was and the Penske's. But I don't know if there was a difference between those two. It looked like they could both suck up pretty well, but the 7 definitely had issues, kind of hanging in there tight. But I don't think Pato could have done anything different apart from the timing. He could have swapped it by a half lap, and that would have changed it. But I think if he'd not given him the room, they both would have crashed. That would have been great for Alex and I. But yeah.
How difficult does it become for a driver to come close year after year after year and not get it done?
I don't know. Like it's a privilege to race here, right? I'm in a situation where I'm lucky to have won, but Pato's come close a few times too. It can go in cycles. As I've said many a times, finishing second sucks. Like it's horrible. You'd rather finish last, I think, almost at this place and be out of the race early. He'll be fine. He's got plenty of time on his hands.
Jack.
Scott, I know you were talking about qualifying. You were kind of giving something back to Honda in the sense that you weren't the top Honda, so you didn't feel like it was like you weren't blaming them for anything. Did you feel like in the race that was the deficit was between Honda and Chevy, or do you feel like there was something on the Ganassi side that you could have done better in the race there?
There was definitely a difference, man. They come from so far back. Like the pace changed when they started cycling in front. Getting back to the restarters, they got past me before I got to start finish. I knew it was going to be a pretty rough end to the race. So, great job by them. But we Honda and everybody at HRC have done as much as they can. They've sometimes it goes in cycles, and I know this will inspire them to work harder, and they'll be back.
Obviously, Pato's here, but I'm going to give him a little breather. If we can wrap things up with Scott first before we get to Pato. Any other follow-up questions for Scott Dixon? Bruce?
You couldn't have done anything different.
Forgive me if this has been asked already, but just got up here with Pato. When you hit pit lane, did you think, oh no, not a speeding penalty?
When I hit pit lane?
Yeah, it looked like you had to get on the binders pretty hard there on that last pit
there.
stop.
I felt good, man. That's how it should be, right? On the limit. I was trying to get the lead. No, I didn't question that one. I'd already had the tone. Well, actually, last time I got done for speeding, I had tone too. So, I didn't think it was that close. I thought it was okay. There was a bit of a bobble there right at the end, but we were good.
And again, forgive me if this has already been asked, but what happened with you and RHR?
I don't really know. Like, there was no room to go, and then I was kind of looking to the right, just saw at the last minute when he hit me, but he was pretty deep in the grass at that point. So I hope he's okay. I haven't looked at the replay yet to see if there was anything I could have done different apart from just pulling out of his way. But that's not the way you race.
Any other questions for Scott? All right, thanks, champ. We'll see you in Detroit.
Thank you.
Thank you. Joined now by Pato O'Ward, who led 11 of the 200 laps this afternoon and early this evening, driving the number 5 Arrow McLaren Chevrolet, second runner-up finish in the Indy 500, second podium of the season, 22nd of his young NTT INDYCAR Series career. You've kind of had a chance to kind of think about things a little bit. What are your thoughts on a runner-up finish in the Indy 500, Pato?
First of all, very proud of what Arrow McLaren did for not just me, but for everybody within the team. I think I can speak on behalf of Kyle, Alex, Callum. You know, they gave us the tools to fight. They gave us the tools to be there. As for my race, it was just such a stressful race. We were up and down, and you know the car definitely wasn't you know the easiest to drive at certain moments, and I just tried to keep peace as much of the race as I could, and I feel like I did. You know, really prepared to open the doors to ultimately have a chance to win at the end of this, and yeah, it's heartbreaking. Two corners short. I'm glad that we finished the race. Congratulations to Joseph, 2 in a row. But yeah, you know, I put that car in certain points where I didn't know if I was going to come out the other end in a one piece, because I want to win this race so freaking bad, and it owes me nothing. So every time we come back, it's always a smile on my face to have another opportunity.
We'll cut to the chase. You mind talking us through the pass that Joseph made there in turn 3?
No, let him ask.
Yeah, I mean, I think Joseph is a great competitor. I've raced wheel to wheel with him so many times, and he's, you know, he's obviously one of the stars in the series, one of the strong ones, and you know, I knew he was going to be a fighter till the end, and it's just two corners short. You know, I really thought that I did everything in my power to get it done.
Reminder, keep in mind this is a working media center, and appropriately asked for all that comes with it. Begin with Jenna Fryer. Jenna, please.
Pato, are you okay? Like, I've never really seen you react the way that you have reacted today.
Yeah, I'm fine. It's been a tough month. So much goes into this race, and I think I'm somebody that wears my heart on my sleeve. I don't really hide anything, and it's just when you've come so close, you know, and it just doesn't seem to, you know, you just can't seem to get it right. It's just a lot of emotion, I would say.
Will you go back and watch the last lap and look for something you could have done different?
No, I don't think you can control that. I think, in a way, I've cracked the code, and you know, I know how to position myself to win this race. I know I can win this race, and I know that, you know, I know how to also protect a good result when maybe the win isn't on the cards for me. But yeah, just in a race like that where, you know, it was a constant emotional roller coaster where, you know, things that weren't going perfectly smooth. They really weren't, but, you know, I think the team did a fantastic job, gave me an opportunity, and called a really good strategy to then get ourselves back to the front. And, you know, I made a very strong overcut, which ultimately put us into contention there in the end. And then just, you know, just trying to get into the top 2 cars the last few laps was like, it's so hard to do with these cars. You know, you're just stuck there, and you have to risk so much. Like, yeah, I think on both runs, on Scott and Alex, I was like probably higher probability of shunting the car than getting back in one piece. But that's what you have to do, I guess. So today we're second.
Kind of a two-parter here, Pato, over here to your left. Does that make it that much harder because you put yourself in those situations, and will that fuel you? You already thinking about that fueling you moving forward?
every 500 for me has been very different. There's been some that I've, led a lot more and been up front on more. This one we were stuck a lot more. Some people were driving like maniacs on the restarts. Like I was just playing defense for 85% of the race. Yeah, some of the moves out there were just mental, stupid. So I was just glad that I didn't touch anybody, I didn't crash, and I know how to make my way up in this place. So all I needed to do was keep my car clean and for yellows to stop coming out, because then you can't do anything. Where it gets good is where you can start getting creative with overcuts, undercuts, and all that jazz. So glad I was able to do that, and yeah, made our way with I think one exchange it was. So just come back next year and go at it again.
Nate Ryan.
Pato, you mentioned that history with Joseph. I think by my count, this is the 8th time you guys have been 1-2, and he's got 6 victories. Does that make it sting a little bit more? Does that go through your head a little bit? That's him.
No. I was glad that I was racing somebody that I can trust, and somebody that's that I think is a fantastic competitor, and he's in a fantastic team. So for us, it's I think it's a privilege to really make them sweat, and I think we certainly did today. Just like I said, a couple seconds short.
And you mentioned that roller coaster of emotions today. Was it like that really for these 2 weeks? Because it seemed like Monday you didn't feel like you were in the ballpark at all, and you didn't know if the team was going to be able to fix it.
Yeah. No, it's been a tough month. Like Monday we were definitely struggling a lot. Friday my car came alive. But during the week I'm getting out of the flu. I had fever for 5 nights straight. I wasn't sleeping. Like it's been a ride, but I felt good enough today to, I guess, almost get the job done.
Second row, that side.
Obviously, nobody can control the weather, but just what was your strategy for dealing with that delay and maybe the uncertainty around knowing exactly when the window was going to open up, and even just maybe dealing with the track at a later point in the day than you're used to being on it?
I thought it was cool. It's like Sunset Indy 500. It's pretty badass. Yeah, I don't mind it. I mean, I think a night race here would actually be so sick. I don't think it's going to happen ever, though.
Hasn't happened in the 108 years of the history of this place. Probably not anytime soon. Go ahead, Kyle.
Pato, I was talking to just the team and Rossi after. Everybody's emotional, but everybody's just on the Arrow McLaren team is giving credit to each other. You even did at the start when you were talking. How do you guys build the camaraderie that you guys have in the entire team?
We do no good to each other by not helping each other. Like it's important to know that if your teammates are up there, that's a good thing. It's a good thing. I was very happy to see that I had 2 of them up there, and before the race, Alex just came out. He's like, "I'll see you there soon," because he knows that I was going to be in the mix, and it's cool to do with people that you trust and people that you get to work with day in, day out. And at the end of the day, if it was him winning this race, if it was me winning this race, I think we could say we would have been really happy for each other. And because I know how much work we've all put into just making the team, take that step into where we want to be. So yeah, I've really enjoyed the month with my teammates and with my engineer, my performance engineer, all the team bosses, and it was a very strong result as a team today for us. And it's just obviously it stings that it's that close.
And I know that you've talked a lot about your emotions already today, but as soon as you kind of got out of the pit today, I saw you just kind of bury your head in your.
Go ahead.
Pato, buenas noches. En lugar de pregunta, más bien como medio de comunicación mexicano y personas mexicanas que te apoyamos, estamos orgullosos de ti, Pato. Muchísimas personas apoyándote de toda la República Mexicana, desde las 8 de la mañana, 7 de la mañana, hasta ahorita las 8:30 de la noche, apoyándote. Así que la frustración que sientes, esperamos que se quite un poco con todo ese apoyo de muchísima gente mexicana que te apoya, los medios de comunicación incluidos. Lo vimos en la semana, estuviste conviviendo con la gente, comiendo comida mexicana. ¿Cómo te hace sentir esa parte de todo ese apoyo que recibiste, Pato?
No, pues más que nada súper agradecido. Me siento afortunado de tener un grupo, bueno, no diría un grupo, realmente que es un país que está detrás de mí y se siente la emoción, lo veo y pues como te digo, o sea, a mí me hubiera encantado darle razón por la cual celebrar y pues sí, ya llegará nuestro tiempo, pero sí, realmente que es algo muy especial lo que a mí me toca ver, no solamente aquí, pero en muchas pistas, que realmente no veo eso para alguien más y siento que es, pues, sí es algo muy especial y agradecido de tener eso.
Y va a llegar, Pato, eres un conductor joven con muchísima experiencia pese a tu edad y te deseamos lo mejor de parte de los medios de comunicaciones hispanos y mexicanos, Pato.
Muchas gracias.
Gracias.
Bruce?
Pato, when does the pain go away and get replaced by the pride of what you were able to do?
I think in a few hours, I think I'll, I feel very proud of what I did today. I really do. It's just after all that work and all those, just very risky kind of choices that I had to make in order to put myself in that position. It's just like, it just stings to not be able to like just finish it. But it is what it is. I know we'll be there next year.
And also, when you made the pass for the lead, the crowd reaction was a lot more enthusiastic than the ultimate pass for the victory. And to know that there's that many people out of a crowd of 340,000 fans that would rather have seen you win, how does that make you feel?
Everybody here, the IndyCar community, all the IndyCar fans, people from Indianapolis have really made it feel like home here to me, and I'm so thankful for that. I'm so grateful for that, and at the end of the day, I hope I put smiles on kids' faces and people that were here out to support us. I hope that they go home tonight and happy with the show that we gave them, because I feel like it was definitely not a boring race, and we had to fight for our result today, harder than I've ever had to fight for it, and I think that's why it's just that much more emotional, because I put everything into today.
And finally, how much fun's the last month been working with Kyle Larson?
It's been fantastic, but the guy's been so busy. Like, he hasn't even been part of the engineering meetings for like 80% of the time. But I think he'll be back next year. They haven't said anything, but I think it'd be fantastic to have him back. And I think he did a phenomenal job. I didn't see quite where he finished, but when I was playing around with him out there, playing in traffic, and I think he did a phenomenal job.
Kyle finished 18th. So
did he have an issue?
Speeding penalty.
Got it.
Yep.
I don't think he'll have one next year, so he'll be further up.
Time for two more, one here, and then Jack after that. Go ahead.
Pato, hubo entre toda la resumen del carrera, hubo un par de momentos en el que fuiste remarcado por una, la salvada, y otra por el momento estratégico donde cambió todo. ¿Nos podrías contar cómo manejas ese proceso, teniendo que replantear todo de nuevo?
Pues realmente andaba muy tranquilo, muy tranquilo. Aunque cuando andábamos ahí a medias y atrás, andaba muy tranquilo. Yo sabía que tan pronto se empezaban a pelar los de enfrente, iba a tener la oportunidad de tener lo que tenía que hacer, y tan pronto yo me metía a pit, yo sabía que iba a salir enfrente si todo salía bien en los pit stops, ¿no? Entonces, en el ciclo, vaya. Entonces realmente no estaba apresurado. Realmente nomás, cuando estás ahí atrás con todos los locos, todos están dando en la madre, o sea, unos que dices, ¿qué estás haciendo? Ten en mente, o sea, yo sé que yo he sido uno de esos estúpidos antes, entonces lo entiendo, ¿no? Pero no, hay unos que dices, es que yo realmente nada más me quería quedar donde estaba, y tan pronto ya todo como que se apaciguaba, empezar a pum, pum, pum hacia enfrente, que es lo que estábamos haciendo, porque yo tenía, o sea, yo sabía cómo, pero casi ni eso me dan oportunidad, porque por acá y por allá y por allá, y muy temprano en la carrera. Entonces, pues realmente mi plan era que nomás que no te peguen y que no le pegues a nadie, y tan pronto no estemos metiéndonos a boxes en las amarillas, es cuando tenía yo la oportunidad para irme de 15avo hasta tercero, segundo. Ya sabía yo cómo, el problema es se iba a dar o no, pero sí se nos dio.
Y la segunda, ¿qué cosas has aprendido en este año? Creo que es uno de los más difíciles, pero ¿qué has aprendido para plantearte a la siguiente y seguir buscando la victoria?
Pues llegar con una sonrisota, salir de este cuarto con una sonrisa, y llegar el próximo año y darles otra vez.
Jack Pinion, final question.
Pato, I saw you had this amazing double save in turn 2. I don't know if you remember exactly which
I
one
remember.
it was. Your car was your car
That
was
wasn't
pretty,
the only one. I don't know if they televised the other ones, but
that's why I asked it. I didn't know if you knew exactly which one I meant, because I know your onboard was pretty sketchy towards the end of the race. Can you talk through what happened there and how you kind of dealt with that?
I was like, if there was one time where I had to put so much trust in my skill, it was today. Like I said, like there was so many where I was like, I don't know if this is gonna work out. I was so loose, so loose. It was just wiggling so much, moving around a lot. There were so many moments like that where I knew what to expect, but sometimes you just never know when it's gonna kind of want to bite. So that's what makes it so much more like, right? Because if I wouldn't, I risked so much today to put myself in contention to win this race. But that's what you have to do whenever you're stuck in line like that. That's why, if not, if you're just stuck, no one passes. And I did it when it counted. And it's probably the most crazy Ray 500 that I've had, for sure, just in terms of like issues that I was having within my car. So many moments.
You mentioned how highly you rate Joseph. Can you take any sort of solace in knowing how long it took him to win a 500, and how much it's taken some really fantastic drivers along the years a long time to win this race?
No, I mean, I think everybody's path is different. I don't quite think it's, some guys obviously get it done very early on and then never again, and some guys take a long time and get it right, but it's just, I don't think any of those guys have been basically in contention 5 years in a row and not gone to win, and that's what I'm going through. And I think probably the closest one that's been through that is probably Elio. I know he has 4, but he's been second a lot of times. So I think it's a good thing that I'm finishing second, and maybe I get a couple in a row in the future. I don't know. Maybe I don't get any. This place, like I said, it doesn't owe me anything, and it's just very cool to be a part of this event.
Pato heads to the streets of Detroit, 5th in points, just 54 points back. We'll see you in a couple days.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming out, man.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks for a great couple of weeks as well. Joseph Newgarden, Team Penske will be on their way once they wrap up the celebration and victory podiums. Stand by for Joseph.
I couldn't get your attention. So then he asked me to move, and I was trying to get your attention, and then he started cursing at me in a professional setting. And I don't understand why, because he has 45 seconds of airtime, doesn't ask any questions, just rides our backs. But, let's just let him control the game.
Hi, this is Kristen Juszczyk. I just wanted to say congratulations on winning Indy 500. I made you a little something, and I hope you will. Congrats.
Probably let's go with two. It might be two people.
Okay,
So I don't know.
I'll grab one more stuff.
So bring out a couple.
Do I need 2 towels or just 1 towel?
Hi, this is Kristen Juszczyk. I just wanted to say congratulations on winning Indy 500. I made you a little
There's
something,
that one that's
and I
under
hope
the
you love it.
bed.
Congrats.
Okay.
Okay.
That's why I got
Dave.
What's that? Yeah.
Appreciate it. sign, and that's where Scott and Pato sat. Yeah, I mean, you're welcome to do that if you think it looks better.
anything besides the change would have been some. Somehow everyone got a turn to answer questions, and they didn't act like they were right. That's a great concept.
Just a heads up, we're roughly 5 minutes away or so from getting Joseph Newgarden and Jonathan Duguid up here as they wrap up some interviews and celebration down at Victory Podium. So I'm going to say 5 minutes, which I think is close, so stand by. What's that? Hello. Oh, hi. Funny seeing you here. Hey, Jonathan. How are you doing? Congratulations, man. Thanks for coming up. I'm good. Okay, everyone, wrapping up the 108th running of the Indianapolis 500 with the winning driver and strategist as well. Just a couple of deep dives on what happened today. There were 649 on-track passes for the Indy 500, most since 2017. 16 leaders, 49 lead changes. Joseph Newgarden led 26 of the 200 laps, of course, driving the number 2, Shell, powering Progress, Team Penske Chevrolet, now a 2-time Indianapolis 500 champion, back-to-back for the first time since Helio Castroneves did it back in 2001 and 2002. And obviously for Team Penske, it is a record-setting 20th win in the 500. So Joseph joins us, as does the strategist in Jonathan Duguid, who joined Team Penske back in 2007. He's worked on the IndyCar programs, IMSA, ALMS programs as well, and now gets to boast that he's an Indy 500 winner as well. So congratulations to both. Joseph, I don't know if you had a time to really stop and think about what happened today, the 12 hours of Indy, but I'm guessing you're glad the race happened today.
I'm so throttled. You have no idea. I don't know that I'm going to be very articulate right now in this moment, but I'm appreciative of this team. This team earned this win the entire month. They've earned it the entire year. You have no idea how much effort's gone into this. It's every individual. That's what Indy exemplifies. It exemplifies the team. And to show it in qualifying, to show it in the race, it's a proud moment for everybody. I'm thankful Jonathan was here. You know, I missed Tim, I missed Luke, but I was just as happy to have Jonathan and Raul. They're just as good. It was different, but they're just as good. And you know, this team just has no shortage of excellence across the board. You know, I would step in any one of these cars, thankfully. You know, you don't have to be on one program. They're all great, and I think they all contributed to this win. So it was a big team day. Really just appreciative. I enjoyed driving today. You know, that's how I started this year. It's what I wanted to get back to, and very gratifying. Very, very gratifying race to go through with this group.
Easy follow-up for you. The pass outside of turn 3, your thoughts as you look back at that?
Yeah, hard to know if it's going to work. I don't think it works unless you're racing someone like Pato. You know, it's not that Pato didn't race me hard. He just raced me clean. And that move doesn't work unless you're racing someone like that. It just doesn't. It's very easy that doesn't work out. And so I think he's a tremendous champion. You know, he could have easily won the race himself. He was very capable of that with his team. And, you know, for us, it worked out. He drove me excellently. I'm very thankful for him and the way that he drove. And, look, from our side, we left it all on the track. There was nothing that we were going to come home and regret. I definitely felt that way in the final. I'm like, we're gonna put it all on the line. You have to. If you want to win Indy, that's just the way it's got to be, especially nowadays. And it was enough. You know, our car was so fast, and it was pretty good. It was a little hairy at the end. I mean, just as far as, you know, the trickiness, but we had it all day as far as the commitment and the car and the team, and we laid it all out there in turn 3.
Jonathan, for you, heck of a weekend, pit stop challenge, and then the win here today. How'd this happen? Rate this.
Yeah, I mean, like Joseph said, to be able to come in and, you know, this isn't my full-time job, as they say, to be able to come in and represent the team and the amount of work that went into showing up the way we showed up here. I think, you know, I've done Indy probably over 15 times, and this is the smoothest, easiest weekend as far as, you know, preparation. We showed up and the cars were fast out of the box, and when you're in a situation like that, you can start to focus on the details. And like Joseph mentioned, the details are what got it done today. And, you know, I was talking to Raul after the race, and, you know, turned to him and said, Raul, I don't think we made any mistakes today. You know, we might have made, you know, a 50-50 decision one way or the other, but there was no mistakes. And that's what it takes to be in a position like we were at the end. And I think on the final restart, you know, there was an alternate strategy that came to play, and we recycled back in line. And I think I said to Joseph, you know, you're going to have to do it the old-fashioned way. You can't really help you out here anymore. And the old-fashioned way is passing on track, and that's what we did. And you know, there are some amazing restarts in addition to the pass on the outside of turn 3 that everybody on the timing stand stopped looking at the television screens because we didn't know if we were going to come out the other side. And I think the confidence that Joseph had in the car, you know, allows him to do that. And like you said, it was an excellent day on pit road. And you know, with the help of, you know, Kevin and Mark, the engine support technician, and Mustafa, and you know, all the guys, the preparation level for the race and the execution was second to none.
All right, we'll open up for questions. We've got Madeline on this side, Jack on the other. We'll begin here, Madeline, with Bruce Martin. Go ahead, Bruce.
Joseph, for as disjointed as his last year's finish was with the red flags, this year really made more than made up for that, because it was just a straight out fight all the way to the end. And how satisfied are you to be able to win it like that?
I thought they were both incredibly satisfying. That's what I would say. Very different races, but, you know, both hard fought and I think deserved as far as for our team and the effort that was put in, the car that was on track, the execution. I feel very similar about them. Today was another excellent statement of that. You know, just to echo Jonathan again, it's every little detail piece has to. You can't win this race on a whim. It's just rarely happens that way. There's no guarantees when you show up and you're on the grid today, and it's about getting every little detail right. We didn't make mistakes today. We didn't make mistakes last year, and I think the team deserved both of them. So just proud to be a part of it. Really, really proud. You have no idea. I had fun today. I had so much fun working with this team. They did a great job.
20th Indy 500 win for Roger, and once again you get your 30th victory. You get to celebrate that twice. How important are those numbers to you?
They're very important. You know, I think they're important to Roger. You know, it's one of the things that I love about him is his vision to always be moving forward. You know, I think some people, maybe it doesn't work for them, but you know, you don't have the success and the integrity of someone like Roger Penske without that vision. And I've seen it personally over the last 8 years. I have a tremendous amount of respect for him, and the numbers matter. And I know how bad he wanted 20, and I can tell you I really wanted the second one, and this entire group wanted to win today. You know, I think they deserve to win today, and you know, they care about winning these races. You have to. I mean, why do we show up if we don't care about it? You know, we care tremendously, so it means a lot, and you know, glad to get back there.
And also, you were already going to win over $3 million with the victory, but the $440,000 from Borg Warner, I mean, that's a nice little bonus just to be able to have that. More importantly, the accomplishment of going back-to-back since LEO in 01 and 02.
Well, everybody on this team deserves a big bonus after today. Not even today, this month. Wow. I mean, I'm telling you, it's not, you know, this Indy, you can see the highs and lows of it so easily. You go up and you go down, and we've been down on the speed aspect the last 4 years, and we've been just fighting our way back as a group together. And, you know, everybody has earned this one today, all year. It took a long time to get to this point. So, yeah, it's cool.
Zach Kiefer.
Joseph, your celebration was identical to last year. In that moment, emotionally, how was it similar to last year, and how did it feel different?
Oh, so similar. I mean, I genuinely mean that. It was very similar. You know, it's kind of, you don't know that you're going to ever win this race. Of course, you can dream about it, how could you not, right? Like, I've dreamed about winning this race for years, but you'd never know you're going to win it until you're winning it. And that's like right before the line that you know you're winning it. So it's very spur of the moment, and I just wanted to get back, to do what we did last year, and to celebrate with this group so quickly was very gratifying.
Zach.
I guess double barrel question. One, sort of what was like your strategy for navigating the delay? I think everybody expected there would be one, but just didn't know where it would fall. Kind of what were you doing? Did you rest? Did you, just kind of take a nap or anything like that?
Yeah, it's pretty straight. I'll let Jonathan answer this one because it's pretty straightforward from my side. I actually didn't really talk to these guys much, so I'd be interested to hear his perspective on what the team was doing, but I was pretty low-key. I was just waiting basically for Jonathan to text me to say, like, hey, we're about to go.
Yeah, because the name of the text group was Indy 500 Domination, right? So, so we did have a text group started on that. And, to be honest, I think the communication about the weather delay was pretty clear. And, they had a hard and fast line in the sand for time-wise. And so, we knew there was plenty of time to get a full-distance race in. And so we just executed the race plan that we had talked about on Saturday.
And then I guess the second question is anything different when you're racing here later in the day? That's a lot later than you guys would normally have the car out there, whether it's temperature, whether it's, shadows and light, whatever it was. Did anything feel different?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, conditions are drastically different. We were talking all day, Jonathan and I, about it, and he was keeping me up to date on track temp and ambient, and it really started to change the last 50 laps. It stayed pretty, I would say, stable up to that point, at least from my side, and then I could really tell a difference, 50 to go. It started rapidly cooling, mostly the track itself, and that brought a different balance. It actually brought a trickier balance to drive, and I think just helped everybody gain a lot more grip. So it just made the battle even more fierce at the end because no one's really fading within a tire run. Everyone's just able to push flat out and stay pretty close. So that's a difference to what a full daytime hot race would be.
Jenna.
Joseph, when they handed you the bottle of milk, you took a couple big swigs, and then you reached for the phone. You FaceTimed someone, used some expletives. Who were you talking to there?
There was Luke Mason on the
Okay.
phone. Someone gave me that, and I saw him on there. It was good to see him.
And you just wanted to, celebrate and
How could we
yell the
not?
F word a few times?
I didn't. Well, apologies for the F word. I
No,
didn't know anybody was
we didn't
listening,
hear
but-
it. We were just lip reading.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Well, yep. Sorry about that, but no, it was great to see him. Great to see him.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Have you talked to TC?
I haven't. I look forward to it, but we're going to celebrate as a group tonight, and I'll talk to him. I'm sure at some point soon.
Okay.
Right behind you, Jenna. Let's go. Yep, Joey Barnes. Go ahead, Joey.
Hey, Joseph. On that late last lap pass, I mean, when Pato got around you going into one, you come out of two, able to follow him closely to be able to make that run into three. Was that a byproduct of the cooler track temperature, or were you able to follow that? When did you notice that you could follow that closely earlier in the race?
Yeah, I did. I mean, I think we had that confidence for most of the month. It's a byproduct of an excellent race car. I mean, look, I'm not going to take credit for being able to follow that close. If the car can't do it, it can't do it. That's an oval racing. You can't force these things. It's very much a team aspect. And that's why I say I think Indy magnifies that more than anywhere else we go. I mean, you have to have the race car just dialed perfectly to be able to do that stuff. And it has been really fun to drive all month. To Jonathan's point, it's been pretty simple. We've not really stepped outside of our box much. It was very well orchestrated, and we just tried to hit our points and execute well. So that was a byproduct of a great car.
And then I guess on the second one, if you get the chance to talk to Pato, because obviously he's kind of going through some things, being runner-up here a few times, going through his own drought, if you will, like what you endured. What do you tell him?
Well, I mean, I would echo what I just already said. He is a champion. He's one of the best competitors we have in this field. He's a really nice guy. Every time I talk to Pato, we have great conversations, and I think we have a lot of respect for each other. So I'm appreciative for the way that he drives. He drove like a champion in this race, and he's just as deserving of a winner, in my opinion. He definitely could have won this race. So it's tough to not win it. I can't say anything to ease that for him. When you don't win, it hurts. And I've left here 11 times prior with a broken heart, so I know the feeling. Whether you're close or you're far, it's a broken heart. So I can't ease that, but he's a champion. I think he knows it, and I definitely have a lot of respect for him.
Go ahead, and then we'll go Tony, and then Justin after that. Go ahead.
Jerry Jordan kicking the tires, letting that. Today, Larson was up front until he had issues, on pit road speeding. What was it like for you running around him? Did you notice him at all, or any? He said he wants to come back and do this again. So, what are your thoughts on that?
I think he should. He's a great driver. I mean, he's been a joy to have here this weekend. He's been, great to talk to and work with, and as far as on track. And, I didn't see him much today. At least I didn't feel like I did. But there was alternate strategies going on, as Jonathan talked about, and I think he was in a different spot to us. But I'm not surprised that he wants to come back. I'm thankful. I think it speaks volumes for the Indy 500 that he stayed. It just shows the significance of this event, and I'm not surprised he wants to come back. I think it's great for the sport.
Tony.
We've talked a bunch over the last 365 days. You're hungrier to come back this year to win again. You can go for 3 in a row next year. This is a busy week coming up for you. What's something that you want to make sure that you do that maybe you didn't get a chance to last year when you went to the Victory Week celebration, obviously going to New York? And then your cool-down lap seems like you were still flying out there, or was that just an excitement level to get to and back into the stands?
Yeah, it was a blur. I mean, it was so intense the last 30 laps that it was difficult to just shut that off. I mean, it was flat out. Like, no one was lifting or giving anything up. I mean, I felt like I was wrecking half the time, and it looked like others were kind of the same way. I mean, it was full on. So when I crossed the line, you don't just shut the engines off. I mean, you're like still in full out mode. So I think that's what you saw there. And I was just trying to process it pretty quickly, which is difficult to do in, a minute, trying to get back to the start-finish line.
And then this week, obviously, it's going to be a busy one. You turn around and go to Detroit, but you've got media obligations that you learned it last year, but what's something this year to make sure that maybe you sink in, or you take in a little bit more?
Yeah, I'm going to just try and be more measured with, it's very tough. I mean, it sets you back from a commitment standpoint. You got to go so many places. You don't, like, I'm someone that really needs personal time. I value that tremendously. I can't be in front of a lot of people for too long, and unfortunately that's like a big part of the job, especially if you win this race. So I'm going to try and honor my commitments and do a great job for this series and this event, but I definitely need to, measure it more than last year and find some time to get back into the season rhythm.
I think it's called self-care. Is that what the kids call it now?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, probably. All right, Justin, then Bruce.
Yeah, Joseph, where does this one rank for you? I mean, because Pato came in here and so did Scott, talking about how they made moves during the race that could have put them in the wall or spun them out, or any. You kind of echoed the same type of thing. I mean, this race, just from a viewer's perspective, was thrilling and exciting, and you come out on top. So does this rank higher in any of your other wins you've had?
Have you won this before?
No.
I didn't know that. I thought Jonathan had one. Okay, well, because I want him to answer this too. It's very special. I mean, I'll repeat. It was tough not having my normal reality here this weekend, but I was just as excited to have Jonathan and Raul. I mean, I think very highly of these two individuals, and I've seen them at various points in my career where I thought, maybe I'll have an opportunity to work with them full time on the IndyCar side, and it didn't work out. We've all gone in different career paths, so it ranks the circumstances, the camaraderie, the time that we got to spend together. Out of chance. This wasn't supposed to happen, and we got this opportunity out of chance. And to be able to pull it off together, it ranks very high for me. Very, very high. I don't know that I want to put it first on the list, but I mean, it seems like it probably would be first. It's really, really cool. So I think it's a good question for Jonathan too. I didn't realize he hadn't won it, but it is right up there.
Yeah, like Joseph said, I've finished second a couple times with Elio when I was his engineer there, and so I know the being so close and not being able to come over the finish line. So to be able to be part of this group and represent a lot of hard work from other people, I feel a little bit guilty in the sense that I kind of showed up and everything was going smoothly and got the opportunity to be here. But that's what it's like to be part of Team Penske. The opportunities exist on many fronts. And I think, being able to be part of this today is definitely a high point in my career and look forward to more.
Let's get a mic up to, thanks, Justin. Right behind you, Bruce. Thank you. And then we'll stay in the front row after that. And then Tim, go ahead.
Jonathan, earlier this month, Roger Penske got his 100 sports car victory out in Monterey, and you were on top of the timing stand for that.
Yep.
Today, You get Mr. Penske's 20th Indy 500 win. Those are two pretty special accomplishments that you're personally involved in. So how do you put all that into perspective?
I think this year is probably, is going to go down as a dream year. This group also is part of the Daytona 24-hour win. I talked a little bit about feeling guilty, and I think Joseph said the same thing after the Daytona 24 hours. He kind of rocked up, and, we got the first win after many, many decades. And, I think the biggest thing today we talked about in the race is qualifying on the front row. We could be on offense all day, and I think that's what we were. We were on offense for the last 60 laps. Joseph did a good job saving fuel. We made the strategy decisions to be in a good spot to be able to push hard for the last 60 laps. And I think that's a lot of what Joseph talked about, being worn out and just tired at the end of the race because it was flat out. No fuel saving and big push there. So.
And Joseph, a couple of times you win races. Mr. Penske's brought you ice cream, things like that at Texas. What did he say to you today? What was that moment like?
He was the same RP. He's not changed. He was just, he was happy for the group. When Roger sees everybody execute, there's nothing that makes him happier because that's what we preach. We try and work together as a team. It is one team. He genuinely does not care which car wins the race, and I think, oddly enough, that's how a lot of individuals feel. Of course, selfishly we want to win for each car, but when Roger sees us execute as a team and a car win the race and to do it through execution, he's very proud. And like I said, I'm going to tell you, he's going to be on to number 21 now. Everyone thought he wants 20 and that's his number, but he's going to be, okay, how do we get to 21? He might even say something silly like, we got to get to 25 or something. So I just love it. I love his mentality, and we're always moving forward, and that's what I felt today.
Do you expect his parking space will be changed by the end of the night?
It's probably already changed.
I believe it has changed already.
I'd be surprised if it's not.
So. Time for a couple more. Let's go stay in the front row. Sorry, and then Madeline. You've done a great job last couple of weeks, and then we'll go Timmy. Go ahead.
Joseph, I think this question is a couple for the two of you. I remember you said on Media Day that you have the plan that you must be in the first position or the second one in order to win the race. How do you plan this part of the race? Because I see Jonathan said that you already have something in a strategy because the draft and all this kind of thing.
Yeah, I think, obviously this race is run for over 100 years, and so you can look back at history on where people needed to be in a position to win the race. And like I said, with qualifying on the front row, we sort of controlled our own destiny all day. And I think, we had conversations in the strategy meeting of, from lap 0 to 100, we're okay with dropping back to 7th or 8th to save fuel and hit these targets. But as we get closer to the end of the race, we want to be in the top 3 because that's the only way you don't, get caught up in somebody else's mess or control your destiny, like Joseph said. And I think, with 40 laps to go, we were in the group there, and I think the communication is now it's time to do your homework. And what I meant by that was learn how to pass, learn how to get the runs, learn how to manage the draft, and learn how to manage the fuel, because it's all going to come down to an all-out blast for the last 15 laps, which is what happened. And it takes all the learning, not just from this race, but previous races, to be able to apply that and execute restarts like Joseph had on the last restart. I think it was 3 wide into turn 1, which never really ends up very well. But in the case, I think we picked up 4 spots and put us back into contention. And then the pass in the last lap in turn 3 there. So just being at the front all day is really important because that's what it's going to come down to, and that's what our focus was.
And I kind of asked something similar to Pato. What lesson did you learn, Joseph, from the St. Pete Gate that will help you through the year?
Lessons. In an odd way, I think it's I'm grateful for the experience. I think it's good. It's been a very illuminating experience to me, more from the outside world. And I don't know I know what I take from that personally. I know what it showed me, which I'm thankful for. I think it shows you things that maybe weren't fully clear, but are very clear now. And I think it's an experience that it's got to either break you or tough you up. And for me, that's all I'll say about it. We've been moving forward. We've never worked together, more as a group than this weekend, and I thought that was difficult to do. This is the most tight-knit team I've ever seen. It's been a pleasure to be a part of it because it's such a it's such a well conjoined group. I mean, everybody works so well together, so it's fun to show up here. It's fun to go to work, and I've never had it better than this month. So excited to go forward. We've had a good time this month.
Final question, Tim May.
Yeah, Joseph, about 30 years ago, Al Unser Jr. made this statement that in the final laps of a race, when you're contending, et cetera, the only thing in his mind that mattered was winning. I mean, trying to figure out a way to win. That doesn't mean necessarily be reckless, but put it out there, hang it out on the line. When did you notice coming up that you had that ability, and did you feel that again today of whatever it took?
Yes, definitely. I mean, I thought I misstepped a little bit. The team with me was really in step with what was going on and giving me all the right information. And then, it comes down to, trying to make the right moves at the right time. And I think I misstepped a little bit, to be honest, after probably lap 130, 140. And then there was a little bit of a recovery mode to that. But two parts to the question is, when we showed up, we felt like we had a race-winning car. I mean, it was very evident, I think, to all of us. It was evident to me, and I think the team could see it. And we were trying to, put the pieces together correctly and not misstep. And then in the race, it was the exact same deal. I rated in that, this is the car. Like we're not going to lose this race because of the car. We're going to lose it if we don't do the job correctly, and everybody did the job correctly today, and I think that's why it was pulled off.
And when you're watching him do it out there on the track, I mean, it's in his hands. So, the last 20 or so laps, what is that like, and what does it tell you about him just one more time of what he's made of?
Yeah, I think I think I said something at the timing stand. This is the fun part because we can just sit back and be race fans and watch, and to sort of see what happened for those last 20 laps was amazing, and the crowd that was here today to get to see the moves that were happening in turn one on the restarts and then in the last lap. It's definitely going to be an iconic race and one that'll be replayed many times because it was nonstop action. And there's a high stress level and everything, but we did our last pit stop. We had enough fuel to push flat out the whole time. So to be honest, we were just race fans at that point, and just feeding the information that Joseph needed about what was happening on around him, and then just watching him go to work.
One final question before you take off. There's the Borg Warner bonus that you now know about, but this is the first back-to-back since Elio did it some 22 years ago. Just your thoughts on how rare a feat like that is and how special that is, I guess.
Someone had to reset the bank, and I guess we did. But no, it was great. It is. It's. I said this a couple times before I got up here, but I had let go of the thought of winning this race last year. It's so difficult to win. There's no guarantees that it doesn't matter how good you are, or how well you execute. It does not guarantee a victory at Indianapolis ever. And last year I really started focusing on just the opportunity and saying, this is so fun that we get to show up here and we've got great cars, we've got a great crew, and we have an opportunity to win the race. I know we did. I know we did last year, and I definitely know we did this year. So I just focused on that. And I said, look, if we win it, that's great, but it's the opportunity that's the joy of it. And I say that because it is very difficult to win the race. It's very difficult to win it back-to-back, and I'm over the moon. I've got no words for what we've been able to do. I'm really proud of this team. They deserve it.
It was a long day, but a tremendous finish. Congratulations to you guys as well. And by the way, we're on track at 3 o'clock Friday in the Chevrolet Detroit Grand Prix presented by Lear. So we'll see you soon. Congratulations. Jonathan Duguid, obviously, and Joseph Newgarden, now a two-time winner of the Indianapolis 500. Oh, I have one more. Oh, we do have one more thing. Oh, stand by. Oh, I forgot about this. Play the video. Yes, go ahead.
I just want to say congratulations on winning Indy 500. I need you a little something, and I think you'll love it.
There we go. We've got a custom-made jacket that This is yours, yeah, absolutely. So you go back to Taylor Swift, the jacket she wore during the NFL playoffs. One was made for the your wife's gonna steal it. Okay, yeah. So.
Thank you.
All right, there we go. Joseph Newgarden, two-time Indy 500 winner. Thanks, Joseph.